can't wait.
With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between three girls. Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in the literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. All right. I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. I'm gonna have... What? What? Why is it only these two? I'm so confused.
Hi again, Rodna. Glad to see you didn't run away on us.
Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but at least I keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out.
What the fuck? Thanks for keeping your promise, Rodna. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into my pussy, literature, when you're not accustomed to it. What the fuck? Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. He already had to be dragged in here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. But if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Natsuki certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps manga collections in the club room. Why is she covering up the text?
Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga.
Manga is literature! I'm sorry, Rodna. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? What's up with the music?
Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointing glance.
Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book to read and then eating my ass.
Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now. So it only feels right for me to do something like that if you ask.
Wait? I didn't mean it like that. Could you eat my pussy too then? If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess.
No, it's not that, Yuri. I want to try to be a part of this club.
Even if it
involves eating your ass. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to.
Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, I should help you get started on something you might like eating my ass.
Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book.
I didn't want you to feel left out. So I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so you might keep it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted.
This is... How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book.
Ew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think.
Now that everyone's settled in, I expect Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Okay. We're at 6 hours, so we're going to take a break. So, here we are. I'm going to go to the bathroom, get a snack, so we could finish this game out. Because we're finishing this shit if we're that close, so. Okay, I will be back in like 3 to 5 minutes. So hang out, go stretch, and do all that shit yourself. So I'll be back in a little bit. Be right back. Back again. Back again. Oh my God, we're back. We're back. I let the dogs out and it smells like smoke in Colorado. And yeah, we're gonna try to finish this motherfucker up. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki's rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she knows me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry. I was just spacing out. I muttered this, sensing I made her uncomfortable.
Oh. It's fine. If I was focused, then I'd probably wouldn't have noticed you in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so...
That's the book you gave me, right?
Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it.
Yeah, it's the game, Red Phoenix.
Not for any particular reason. Okay, just a second.
Gizmo! Oh, Gizmo! I'm sorry. Thanks, Red. Just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to, Greg, and I forgot.
Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday, that's not what I meant. My hair! God damn it, I forgot. I fucked up. Yeah, I know. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them.
Ah, I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decide to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. These goddamn French bulldogs stink.
I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story.
Is that so? I mean, Virebot, you hop into my DMs. I'll give you all the upskirts you guys want. What's the story about, anyways?
Well,
I look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous looking eye symbol on the front cover.
basically it's about this religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison. And the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and then fixing them to... that might be a little bit of a spoiler. But anyways, I'm really into it. The book, I mean. Not the thing about limbs.
That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so the dark came from nowhere. Okay.
Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Rodna?
No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry.
I hope so.
Yeah, I totally forget that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different.
It's just that this kind of story, it's the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyways. What the fuck is going on? And suddenly... I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again.
Deputy Dong, you're never worthless.
I'm sorry.
Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything.
Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, my whole body gains what the fuck? I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much.
I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all.
That's true.
In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right?
Yes. I mean, you don't have to, but... what are you saying? Oh, that was the wrong one.
Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's.
Yeah. Oh my god, these French bulldogs fucking stink. Oh my god.
Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. Deputy Dong, you're never worthless.
I'm so sorry. It's not, I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is reading in company with someone.
I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything.
Alright.
I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead.
So sorry? I was just bathing in the feeling that what the fuck is happening.
Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you?
I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean...
Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's and hold my book more between the two of them.
I suppose so?
Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. Ah, I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page.
Here.
Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and her forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn a page and Yuri slides in it under her thumb after it flips to her side. And holding it like that, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision.
Are you ready?
Eh?
To turn the page.
Sorry? I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her.
That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me.
Yeah. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finished the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey, Yuri. This might be a silly thought, but this main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit.
No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not.
Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses things she says and all that.
That's what you were talking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her.
Something else?
Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet. So I don't know why they came into my head.
Yuri, are you feeling all right?
Eh?
Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little...
My breathing?
Yuri puts her hands down on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat.
I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water.
All right. Don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about?
Rodna? Did something happen just now?
Eh? I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess.
So you don't know anything?
Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her?
Oh, no, not really.
I was just
making sure that you didn't do anything to her.
No, nothing.
Don't worry, I believe you, silly. Yuri just does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming.
All right, if you say so.
Anyway, why don't we start with sharing our poems with each other?
Eh? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri?
Well, she might be a while, so I just figured we get started without her. Is that okay?
Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. I did make a mental note of where I left off in the book and then slip it back into my bag. I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair if I share mine with hers first.
Rodna, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home.
What? Arsh?
What? You expect me to believe you that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid?
I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about?
Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyways. I tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again.
Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess.
Anyways, I gotta share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid. Eagles can fly, monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it. Yeah. I told you you weren't gonna like it.
Oh my god, Pug Ugly. I like it.
What? Let's be honest.
I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it?
Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't take my writing seriously.
But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid.
Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it.
Yeah, I understand.
But the other nice things about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. That helps bring out the feeling in the last line.
So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized.
That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you?
Yeah, guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her.
Hi, Radna. Having a good time so far?
Yeah?
Good, glad to hear. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions to the club, like new activities or things that we could do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay?
Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in.
Anyway, want to share your poem with me?
It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to.
Don't worry, Radna. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon.
Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem.
Great job, Radna. I was going, ooh, in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you.
It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort.
That's not very fair.
Well, I guess...
I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing, though. But sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a bit more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interactions, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier. I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time.
Suddenly the door opens.
Yuri! I'm back! Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other. Eh? Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm glad that you took all the time you needed. Alright. Thanks, Monica. You fucking bitch. I suppose I should go get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good yet. I'm not very good.
You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good.
Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know?
I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in a wall. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings, but my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? That sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks in my ears, the room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fear, I brandish my pen.
So, what do you think? Hi, President Taco Bell.
It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback.
It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between the words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful.
What was the inspiration behind this one?
Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit.
An epiphany?
Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone's better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy up later. And another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for way too long, you'll get a dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for the day. Thanks for listening!
As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten.
Exceptional.
Eh? What was that?
Did I say that out loud?
Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face.
He's going to hate me.
You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. You love the name? Yeah, Greg's name is amazing.
Eh? I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for?
Yuri takes a breath.
So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before.
Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really.
Huh?
Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again.
Well, I know that.
Why do they always pop their chest out? It's weird. You mean, with their touching their elbows?
I just meant,
Yuri trays left, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly.
Yeah. Okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through this myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I can recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style and separate from the topic matter, and then they form fit the two together. End result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert.
Of course, that's not something you'll be blamed for. There's so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them